All right, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Two Guns, No Ammunition. Very somber introduction here. We got to remember that guy Stanley. He died of suicide by pneumonia. Did anybody know Stanley's last name? The guy who made all the Marvel stuff?
Lee.
What? Stanley.
Stan.
Lee.
Why are you guys feeding him? You're feeding the trolls. You're feeding the trolls.
Why not?
He died of suicide by pneumonia. It was pretty awful.
How awful was it, Bill?
I really thought somebody was going to fight me on this, and then I would hedge. I'd be like, oh, no, it was autoerotic asphyxiation by pneumonia. Right? You don't commit suicide by pneumonia. Where are you guys? Why don't you feed into my goddamn jokes? Why won't you do it? You never challenge me when I need it for the comedy.
Oh boy.
We are
comedy?
3 news cycles ahead of you with so many other dead people to make fun of.
All right. Well, welcome to another installment.
HW for one.
Boy, this is going to be such a not shit show. I promise you guys. Do a quick mic identifier here and we'll jump right in. Sorry, everybody, for taking a couple weeks off. I know you were all waiting with bated breath. I'm Big Billy, and again, sweatpants, but I won't do the sweatpants review today.
Not yet, at least.
And I'm Chris, and those look comfy, but they look. But I'm not going to wear them while you're wearing them.
Too bad.
Not yet.
This is Genevieve, and I'm just glad anytime Bill's not wearing my pants.
I'm surprised he even fits. I'm Frank, and wait, does he actually? Bill, how tall are you?
6'3".
6'3". How tall are you?
5'2".
Are they shorts when you wear them?
No,
Like
no. You remember?
There are more Daisy Dukes.
No, you
really.
remember last year at New Year's Eve? There was
Yes.
those leggings.
Oh, they're
Those
pretty stretchable.
Super cool
Okay,
leggings
I'll buy
that
it.
he insisted were
I
going
thought you
to
meant-
shrink back down.
I thought you were, since we were talking about sweatpants, I thought you meant sweatpants,
No.
which made me think, I'm like, those would be shorts. How do they even fit?
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am also wearing sweatpants. I am Frank. These are awesome sweatpants. Highly recommend them. I won't tell you what kind they are.
10 out of 10.
I'm Jake, and it's lumberjack season. It's time for
Okay.
jeans and flannel, baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Jake, you can chop my wood anytime you want.
You know I will.
Okay, so does anybody in the room have any heartfelt feelings about Stan Lee? I know to a lot of people he was really important. Seemed like a really nice guy. Came up with a lot of really great stories. Used alliteration, great characters. Always had cameos. I would say I was surprised that he died because I hadn't heard he was in bad health. But I think when you're like 95, it just you can suddenly take a turn.
It's bound to happen eventually.
You're just like, today I'm good. Tomorrow pneumonia. It's over.
Pneumonia? I barely know her.
I mean, if you can think of a comic book character, there's the odds are he had something to do with it.
Yeah.
And I never really watched comics. I think I had one issue of Spider-Man when I was younger, and that is literally it. I don't know who knows where that thing went. But I mean, well, Spider-Man's DC, isn't he, or is he Marvel? This is how much I know. I don't know shit.
Spider-Man is Marvel. You're fine.
I don't know shit about comic books, and I could probably think of a dozen characters that Stanley created.
So, we all know I love Batman, and I've tried to get into these like Marvel movies and stuff, and I don't want to ruin anybody's fun, so I sort of leave well enough alone. But
They suck.
They just don't do it for me. I guess if I was like a fan of other characters, it's probably why I keep watching Batman, because I like Batman. So pretty much anything that comes out, I'll put up with. I don't know.
We all know the audience is only here for my hot takes. So here is my hot take.
I just puked
of
in
the,
my mouth.
Deactivate.
of the Marvel movies, like 1 out of 5
Shut
are
down.
good.
Do you mean like good? I feel like they have the Disney formula. Like they put out movies that are consistently like B- in quality. Like they know how to do a decent enough movie.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying. They just have a massive budget to make you like put the production quality up there so that you kind of gloss over all the parts that are like, all right, I've seen this 10 times already.
Yeah.
But there's cool explosions and like really good CGI. So like,
And that's the thing. I hear sort of like, remember when Hulk punched the shield and then there was an explosion? And I was like, I think I saw that scene. And I thought it was dumb. But I guess if I was into the Hulk or Captain America or whatever, and then they created an explosion, I'd be like, sick. But would you say, I mean, I think you'd have to, that Stan Lee was just as generationally influential as George Lucas was. I mean, Star Wars pretty much defined a generation of
nerds.
Pop culture. I mean, they two behemoths, right? He was the driving force behind many of these characters. It wasn't like he rose to prominence along with it, like I don't know, some of these videos.
He was writing most of this stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
He was a writer, right?
Yeah.
Again, not knowing very much about him, just based on what scraps I've heard. I've seen like after he died, there were a bunch of a bunch of the shows I watch on YouTube did like long, discussions about it and pulling sources and stuff. Because it certainly is a loss to that sector of the entertainment world. And I mean, just how big those movies have gotten in the last couple decades, right? And he's cameoing and everything, whether for better or for worse. But I think the thing that differentiates, I think, him from like a George Lucas, like on a 1-to-1 comparison, is like
George Lucas is alive.
Jesus.
You may have a point there. That might be a better point.
Maybe.
Right on the
That
nose.
might be it.
Right on the nose.
Let's be real though. George Lucas is physically alive, but after the Phantom Menace, we all question whether he was brain dead.
Yeah. No, what were you going to say? What? No
I
one.
think he's morphed into George R. R. Martin.
He was, I mean, like he was instrumental in the making of particularly the first movie and probably the second and third as well. Yeah, episodes 4 through 6. Right. I don't know the exact degree. I'm not an expert on any of this shit, but I watch a lot of movie critics talk about this stuff, and some of it sticks. But after that, George Lucas did a very different thing. A thing that Stan Lee did not do.
He made toys.
The Star Wars franchise became a vehicle to sell toys, like so many popular franchises today, way earlier than most people realize.
Mm-hmm.
Like by the 6th movie, I would bet it was all toys. Right? Probably right after the first. I'd be willing to guess as far.
Right after episode 3 or episode 4?
Episode 4.
Yeah.
Which, the movie was never even meant to be episodic. At first, A New Hope came out. It wasn't called A New Hope. It was just called Star Wars. And, then it hit the, made $1 gazillion.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's kind of a crappy standalone movie.
Kind of. I mean, apparently it was hell to produce, and again, not an expert on this shit. Anyway, this is all beside the point. George Lucas had a lot of help making that original trilogy as good as it was. Right? A lot of help. He did a lot initially. I guess he is responsible mostly for the IP, but he's been nothing but a drag on his own franchise since, in terms of the public's reception of it.
But did he invent the Wookiees?
You're fired.
Much like the Lukey's.
You're fired.
Bill, you can Wookie my asshole.
He's just tickled pink with himself.
He's so proud of himself, yeah.
Stan Lee was a cooler guy than George Lucas will ever be. That's all I'm saying. And I know more about Star Wars. I know more.
I mean, also, like, if you think about it, he was consistently,
You're done.
yeah,
He's broken.
mute him. He was consistently producing quality
Bill is
content.
muted.
We muted Bill.
Because clearly you needed to get that out.
Oh my goodness. Stop.
You're not even drunk, Bill.
This is what happens when you sleep too much.
I am not even sure what's so funny other than Bill's.
He's just pleased with himself.
Yeah.
No, it's not that.
Well, no. Okay, look. If there's anybody here that knows about how awesome it is to be pleased with himself, it's me. Because I am always pleased with myself. But
I'm always pleasing
there
myself.
has to be something else.
Genevieve and
They're
I
the
have been
same,
watching The Simpsons through, and there's an episode where like Marge is watching the Flanders kids, and they're making paper plate and masks, and she makes like a Wookiee face, and she goes, "Look, I'm a Star Wars." And so I was sort of lumping that in with, did they invent the Wookiees? Because I just see like a bunch of disconnected moms all over the country. Like, I like the Wookiees. And I really appreciate that George Lucas made that happen. He created a whole culture for decades to be misreferenced
By moms.
by caring but slightly out of touch people. And
This is the legacy of his that you appreciate more than Star Wars itself. Like, it's not when you were saying earlier about the defining like a culture of nerds, it wasn't Star Wars fans you were referring to, was it? No, it was these Midwestern moms.
Yeah. I'm Star Wars.
Within the Star Wars community who have kids who like Star Wars and try to get into it themselves.
Yeah, they're just trying their best.
Two guns, no ammo. The fan of Midwestern MILFs.
That get
Well, Bill, you successfully
references
derailed this
wrong.
entire fucking affair.
Well, okay.
Stan Lee was a good guy.
And he stayed. What you're saying is he positively contributed to the community right up until the very end.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know his fans were like, "Boy, I sure hope he lives more so he get more cameos," because they just love that shit.
Also, he contributed before, not that comic books and the Marvel Comics universe was not popular before the movies among comic book people. It was the more popular of the two major ones, right? To my understanding. Once the movies took over, it obviously became a much bigger part of general pop culture. And he was a solid contributor for a longer time before it became so popular, and continued to be a solid contributor once it became popular, to my understanding, which is impressive.
It is really impressive. Is there like a Stan Lee character for the DC comics? Do they have their
you
own?
mean like someone in the production that
Yeah. Is there somebody
Some
like
other dude
there-
writing the other
Hideo
stories?
Kojima or whatever?
Possibly. I don't know.
What's the
whole
difference
history.
between the two?
they're different companies?
Yeah, I know they're different companies. Like what I know, and I know they have different sets, but like, what's the thematic differences? Are there thematic differences between the two?
Kind of. There's
Well,
a lot
they had
of, like,
Superman, which was always like really bright and
Yeah.
like pleasant, when it started.
Mm-hmm.
And there was Batman, which was darker. So they kind of seemed to span a decent bit tonally.
Batman got turned dark after that one guy did his take on the Batman comics
Right.
and made it like really broody. And I think years later he's like, I shouldn't have done that.
in Batman's voice.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, but I mean, look, I am probably the worst of. I'm not even a comic book movie fan, so I will just come as a person that watched some of the movies that came out over the past 15 years, and I will say I think the best of them were the trilogy of Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they took that in the right direction. The Avengers are they're too cool for me.
Somebody-
What can I
They're
say?
too cool.
All right. Spider-Man's a pussy bitch. Change my mind.
What?
I think he was written that way. He's supposed to be like an emotional character. From what I've heard, those comics were as much about like the character drama as they were about the action.
Okay.
And
That's by design.
I think a lot of that is true for most Marvel characters. Is like their
They tried to, like,
individual
tell-
series or books are like meant to be more character driven than.
Yeah, they have like lives and personalities, and then over the top, insane magic happens. Also,
I just remember that one movie with Tobey Maguire and
Not his name.
and he's like, oh, I'm losing my powers because I'm not sure if I want to be a Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Like, your
direct
uncle's
quote.
already dead. Get over it. Like, dude,
That's all the
if you were like super jacked with Spidey senses and shit, imagine how well you could do in the dating scene. You know what I'm saying?
Got 8 dicks.
I always wonder that because
know
of how
that's
much I don't really like spiders. Like, if I had those powers, that'd be cool. But at the same time, you'd have to be identified with like a creepy crawl.
arachnid.
Yeah,
No,
like
no,
the
no.
rest of your life, you're
He was
like,
just-
yeah, but then you can just like put them in a silk cocoon and they'll just
That's
die,
true.
and you win.
He was
And then you'll
Real
turn their
question,
body
though.
to mush and
no,
then
he was
slurp
genuine.
them.
He was
and eat
genuinely
them. Slurp?
jacked. I don't.
Slurp
What are
them.
you not getting about this, G? The guy was super strong.
well, no, I get
cut
that.
up.
I get that. I'm just saying, like, if you've thought about it, like, you'd have to identify with spiders. The rest
Why
of your
would you
life.
have to do that?
Because you
just
got
not
bit
tell
by
anybody.
a spider
You
and
just not tell
you're
anybody.
shooting stuff.
You don't shoot it. You wear long sleeves. And you're like, hey, I'm a totally normal guy. You want to go on a hot?
I've heard a
It
lot of
depends.
people that say they weren't going to shoot it, but like snorting it just does not get the job done for them.
Sometimes you gotta shoot it.
Okay,
I'm gonna shoot.
we're gonna roll
all of
on.
you.
Who else died? Who else died in the past couple of weeks? George Herbert Werbert
What?
Bush?
Oh,
Herbert.
Yeah.
Boosh.
Mr. HW.
Number 41.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty tickled when George W., the big dubs, referred to his dad as 41. I didn't know the presidents refer to each other as their numbers. That's pretty cool.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Will they refer to the current as the Cheeto, though?
Oh, boy.
I'm sure they do.
A mild among many potential valid insults. Yeah. But, you know, all that shit aside, a lot of people are, like, really broken up about this.
Really?
Like, really, you know, the media.
Oh, why?
You know, oh, poor HW, that one-term Republican president who was born to a wealthy family and lived the life and died peacefully.
Yeah, like why?
90s.
I don't understand why people get so sad when people die at like 95 after living an incredibly successful, fulfilling life, where they are mostly like renowned. He raised a great family. One of his fucking kids became president. Another one is a governor that had a decent presidential run. Like, dude lived the life. He was a Navy combat pilot that got shot down, survived, did a lot of good shit. Lived a good life.
Whatever you think of his politics,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. Like, he lived a full, wealthy, like, he lived the life.
He was always,
right.
I remember he wrote in his autobiography that he always regretted having named one of his sons Jeb.
I would too. That's a pretty small regret. Dude still became governor of one of the bigger states in the country and ran for president. Like, whatever.
So
dude.
I certainly don't begrudge him any of his success. You know, whatever. I don't know much about what his politics were. Whatever they were, they're certainly not worth bringing up now. He hasn't been a president for a gazillion years, and he lived a gazillion years longer, and he's dead now. And you know, he's a part of history.
Are they gonna are they shipping him around the country like they did with McCain?
They might. Although the markets might be closed on his day of mourning.
Wednesday, yeah, probably. Well, the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ will be shut down on Wednesday.
Why?
Every time a president dies, they shut down the stock markets.
Oh.
What was the last one?
Ford in 2006.
Right.
Ford?
Yeah. We currently have 5, or up until HW died, we had 5 living former presidents. Carter, HW, Clinton, W, and Obama. That's the most it's ever been. Because Carter is like 95, HW was like 95, W's, I think, 60 or 72.
Wait. George W. Bush
Yeah.
is 72?
Yeah.
That guy looks 45.
I would say he looks like he's more around
No,
60.
he's aging now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, he looks like he's about 60 now, but he does look very good for his age.
Can he still throw a friggin' heater?
Dude, I'll bet he could.
What?
One of the biggest moments of his presidency was like after 9/11, they took him out into Yankee Stadium to throw the opening pitch, and he smoked it right over the middle.
He threw like a 60-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle, and he was like 55.
Good for him.
He is
Look,
72.
Another person, politics, you can say whatever you want about his politics, and most people say a lot of bad things about his politics, some of which are very justified. But he at least was a person who was genuinely concerned with trying to be a good person, even if he was wrong in how he accomplished that, or other people judged him. Like, I don't think anyone would ever question his motivation.
Are we talking about HW?
Realistically, either one. I think more so with W than HW.
So when did Reagan die?
I don't know, like the late 90s.
Oh, that
maybe
was a while ago.
mid-90s,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. I guess 4. So we've got 4 presidents, 4 former presidents right now still kicking.
Yep.
All right. Well, pretty interesting. Who else died? I think there was one more that was worth touching on.
Recently, you mean?
Yeah, in the past like 3 weeks.
Caterpillar that was outside stomped that shit.
Wow, you stomped on a caterpillar?
Yeah.
It's pretty rough, dude. What is it?
I was an accident. I was taking the trash out.
Were you barefoot?
No.
Stephen Hawking died this year, but that wasn't recently. I don't know.
Why are we talking about death, boy?
Well, because some people died recently.
You're bumming me out.
Well, you know, the name of the show is
Didn't somebody
no
commit
ammunition
suicide?
because we used all our ammunition killing people.
Whoa.
Okay. Didn't somebody commit suicide recently?
That was me, but I got better.
You got over it.
Yeah.
Did you attempt suicide by pneumonia?
I did. I hung out in the cold rain for a week straight.
If you're a celebrity and you're listening to us, go ahead and commit suicide so we have something to talk about.
Oh my goodness.
No,
Just
please
take
don't. Please
take
don't.
an antibiotic and you'll
Yeah.
be fine.
That would be quite a way for us to get like publicity. Like
Who'd have thought?
in their final hours listening to podcasts, Two Guns, No Ammunition.
Dude, who'd have fucking thought that, what's his nuts? George R. R. Martin would outlive Stan Lee. George R. R. Martin's like 400 pounds.
They got medicine for that.
What? Do they?
For 400 pounds?
All right, let's move on.
For
shall we?
400 pounds.
Okay. All right.
Jesus Christ.
What? Oh,
God damn
whatever.
it.
Okay, Frank.
Bill,
Device review. You got a Fitbit over there.
I do have a Fitbit over here.
Gross.
It's one of the better purchases I've made recently. I will stand by it.
Oh, stop the presses. Steven Hillenberg, the creator of SpongeBob. He died of the cancers. We're going to take a moment of silence because SpongeBob used to be something great. Okay. Fitbit.
Yeah. So I have been debating getting a Fitbit or some smartwatch for a while now. All right. I decided on the Fitbit because I wanted something with a excellent battery life and its ability to track my sleep and heart rate and all of the other fitness things. Like I was more interested in a fitness device that kept track of biometric information for me than a smartwatch. So I wanted a fitness tracker with smartwatch capabilities. And that is exactly what this is. It is a fitness tracker first and a smartwatch second. So for people out there looking specifically for a smartwatch, you know, maybe the Apple Watch or the Samsung Gear or something like that might be more beneficial to you than the Fitbit Versa or Iconic. This is the Fitbit Versa. Coolest things that it does: track my sleep and come with a solid app that allows me to track calories in versus calories out, my heartbeat, and track my workouts and whatnot. It's not over featured, right? There's not a billion features on it that I'll never use half of, like a lot of other devices that tech companies are putting out there right now. It has its place for what it does, and it does what it was supposed to do very well. Right? And I think the most incredible thing, it's got a battery life of about 5 days.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How do you charge it?
It has a little stand. You just plop it on there, and it charges.
Wireless charging?
It does not have wireless charging, to my knowledge.
Oh, okay.
Don't really think it needs it, considering you only have to charge it for about an hour every 5 days.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. It's designed to be worn 24/7. I wear it to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I generally charge it when I'm in the shower. I need to charge it on average for about 20 to 30 minutes twice a week, and it hasn't gotten below 20% battery for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what have you? What has it told you? Anything interesting?
I am in much better shape than I thought I was. I have a resting heart rate of like getting closer to 50.
Oh.
Yeah.
You sure you just aren't on a bunch of benzos or whatever?
I
Horse
wish.
tranquilizers.
I do enjoy a good benzo.
Suppositories.
I used to be prescribed benzos, and I do enjoy them.
So what? I mean, is there anything else remarkable about it? What kind of smartwatch functionality does it have? How
So,
do you review
yeah.
your information?
So it's it lets you watch it just gave me a notification that I need to take 200 more steps this hour, which isn't going to happen. Every 10 minutes of the next hour, it gives you a notification to let you know how many steps you need to take to get to 250 steps, because they recommend that you take 250 steps an hour during all active hours of your day, to promote blood flow and non-laziness. So it'll show you your text messages and your incoming calls, any other notifications that you want to sync up apps on your phone with to it. So one thing that I like is it'll show me weather and traffic when I wake up, so I know what my commute's going to look like without having to touch my phone. So I enjoy that. I wake up to the alarm on my watch, so it doesn't even have a sound. It also works really well because when me and Lisa are sleeping together,
Too much.
nothing good. Come on, people. There's no sound to it, so it just vibrates on my wrist, and it's enough to wake me up. So I just get up. No issues. And without having to pick my phone, like I can just leave my phone. It used to be the first thing that I would do when I woke up in the morning, obviously turn my alarm off, which then also led me to check my email, the weather, and traffic for the morning. So now I just get up, the alarm is on my wrist, turn it off, go to the bathroom, get ready, shower, whatever I need to do to get ready for the morning, and I can just scroll through my emails, any texts that I got overnight, which is unlikely, check the weather, all the traffic, all that stuff, and I'm good to go.
Why is checking all that information more convenient on your watch once you're awake than on your phone?
Probably because I don't have to then go reach for my phone and scroll through it. I don't know. I just get up and go. I don't have to go pick up my phone. It's not that it saves me any time or anything like that. It just, to me, feels more convenient that I can just wake up, okay, it's time to go. I don't have to like fumble for my phone or anything like that. It just seems more seamless, right? Like I remember before smartphones existed, right? When I was in high school, didn't check my phone before I got up or when I got up or anything like that. I had an actual alarm clock, and then I would just hit that and then get up and go get ready for school or whatnot. There was no fumbling around. It kind of brings me back to how I felt more. Maybe it's a little bit of nostalgia where like I don't have a million things to do like on my phone. At least that's how it feels.
I'm really interested in this vibration to wake up because like the noise scares the shit out of me in the morning. Every morning scares the shit out of me. And I know they make blankets that vibrate, but I kick blankets off, so I might have to give this a try. I just wonder, is the government going to know, when I'm moving my hand really aggressively?
Yes. Well, they're more
whacking off.
Wear it on
Bill.
the other wrist.
No, I will attest though that
and you should.
Vibrate to wake up is very nice. I do have an app myself that gently wakes you up with the vibrate. It'll start with a light vibrate and then progressively get more aggressive to wake you up, and it's wonderful.
Until it's an earthquake.
Yeah.
So wait, how
My bed flips over.
is it just on your nightstand or something?
No, I actually keep it under my pillow because it like Frank's watch. It tracks my sleep patterns and everything.
Oh, that's crazy.
It does, it uses the thing in your phone and it like listens to your movements and your breathing and all that stuff.
The Illuminati's beaming
probably
shit into your brain, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Genevieve, you've got a fucking watch you wear all the time over there, but it's not quite as smart as Frank's computer watch. What's the deal with that thing?
Because my watch is just an analog watch.
Oh no! Before that one, you had one that tracked.
This one is not fancy. It was made many years
regular
ago.
Watch.
You had one before that.
I did, and I don't remember what brand it is or where. It was something my mom found on Amazon. I think it was like less than $100. And that you would sync it up to an app on your phone, and you could track like your distance for running, which is something that I was interested in, but I can't remember what happened, why I'm not wearing it anymore.
Your band broke. I remember that. Just talk about what's the function. What was the functionality of it? Did it only track your distance or your heart rate as well?
Tracked heart rate without having to wear a band.
Like a chest band.
Yep.
Yeah.
Heart rate, and then you could have it count your steps. Otherwise, I believe that was it. I mean, besides time. Because it was running, walking, cycling. You could do. Never tried that, so I don't know how that worked.
Can you do, Frank, with that watch, any sort of GPS tracking without your phone? Because there are some phones that you could you don't have to. I'm sorry. There are some smartwatches you don't have to carry your phone, and it can track where you're going.
And Frank's leaving the room.
I think it's food down here. Well, anyhow, there are some smartwatches now and that was like the big thing that was going to make it appeal to me.
Is the GPS function?
Yeah, so you could leave your phone where it is, and it could track your route as you're running around. But I mean, basically, I would just be looking for a low-level smartphone on my watch. I just want music to be able to stream.
Yeah.
And maybe be able to call 911 if I need to.
Mm-hmm.
And then track where I'm running. That's it. But so why did you keep with the analog watch after your last watch broke? Do you just like the feel of it?
First, I'm going to add, I'm pretty sure the other watch I had before this that broke, it would track your steps, and you could, if you had the app and synced it up, like right after a run, you could see your path. So it like tracked GPS.
Well, the app and the phone would.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be like you couldn't from your watch see where you ran, or you could see how long you ran or what distance you ran, but you couldn't see the pathway or your loop or whatever you want to call it. But you could on the app.
There's an app called like Map My Run or whatever. They've got Map My Hike, Map My Bike. You just turn it on. You just turn it on and it tracks your path, and then you can share it with everybody, or you can download other people's paths. And then you follow those too, and it does all your time stuff. I was doing that when I was running. I'm not much of a runner, but I tried it for a while. In my head, I was like, "Oh, I'll definitely make a move to this smartwatch once it can function without being paired with a phone." But alas, I have not made the move.
So sorry. Yes, I did run to get food. My watch particularly does not function without the phone paired to it for GPS. They do make a version. So Fitbit makes several products ranging from $50 to $220, or I think actually one might be $250. Anyway, varying levels of functionality, right? Their website is very well laid out to show you which features come with which one, so you can decide, based on what I want, I know how much I'm going to have to spend to get it. Mine was $150. It was on sale for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, whatever, from $200. And the only things that it's missing are the GPS functionality and near field communication payment. Right, so I can't do any pay features with my phone. I didn't care about either of those. If I'm running or anything like that, I'm gonna take my phone with me anyway. I do understand the people who want that. I didn't care. Right, I was more looking for something that would track what my phone could not track, mostly sleep and steps, right, and heart rate.
That leads me to another product that Genevieve and I came up with, the travel fanny pack.
The tranny pack.
The tranny pack.
The tranny pack.
I think that would be a major seller. It's got to be fashionable, so you want to travel the globe with it, but it has the functionality of a fanny pack. You don't look like a 90s dork, the tranny pack.
You look like a 2010s dork instead.
I distinctly recall firing you, Bill.
Oh, that's right.
That was like an hour ago. Okay.
I have an old Fitbit, one of the old little like pods that look like they could be injected under your skin. And I enjoyed that for a while, but I had to charge it pretty often, and they're easy to lose. My issue is I want to track my activity when I'm playing sports like rugby and basketball. However, when you're playing those two things, you should not, rugby you are not allowed, and basketball you shouldn't wear anything on your wrists, right? Because at the very least, you can catch somebody with your wristwatch and cut them. Somebody's finger can get caught in there. Like when guys play rugby, I think sometimes they let them, but generally guys don't even wear their wedding rings because you can get your finger degloved if it gets caught on something.
Oh God.
Right. So if I could get, what I've done before is I've made my own custom little holder. I tie it around my ankle and then pull my socks up over top so I don't have to worry about it getting caught up. Now there was a device like that, but that doesn't make any damn sense because why would you want the watch functionality on your ankle? Somebody solve my problem for me.
I don't know. I would feel comfortable wearing this while playing basketball. At least not super competitively, right? If I was an NBA player or something, I obviously wouldn't. But yeah, I'd be cool wearing this with like the way we play basketball or anything like that.
Now, have you smacked in anything with it? Because I'm a big clumsy clod.
I'm once or twice, but nothing like major.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems pretty durable though. I mean, it's waterproof and all that stuff. So I'm pretty happy with it in general. The sleep tracker is very accurate. When it says I slept well, I feel like I slept well. I wake up feeling very refreshed. When it says I didn't sleep well, I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I need to go back to fucking sleep right now.
Has this informed you in making any habit changes? Like, what are you doing with this information?
Sleep-wise, I do try and stay more consistent than, or at least if I have a really bad night of sleep and it tells me I had a really bad night of sleep, I will definitely try to get to sleep earlier the next night, like that night. Calorie-wise, so it has a very good tracker to count your calories, right? To track your food. You can search for food, and it has like brand foods in there.
Yeah.
So we were talking about Wegmans earlier. I buy a lot of my groceries from Wegmans. I can specifically type in Wegmans wavy potato chips, and it will come up with the accurate nutritional information of that particular food. All I have to do is keep track of how much I ate. And it's fairly comprehensive. It doesn't have a lot of beer in it. So that, is a significant portion of my diet. But
I think that you can add that data, though. I think
you can, yes. And you can add your own custom foods as well. But yeah, I can go to the brewery's website and just find out how many calories and whatnot are in it. It keeps track. It only keeps track of your macros. It does not break down into like all the vitamins and whatnot that you have. For one thing, I'm trying to balance my macros out more. So right now, I'm probably a little too heavy on the fat, not enough protein or carbs. I actually eat less carbs than I thought I did, which is pretty impressive. So I was able to switch over from wheat bread to white sandwich rolls for my sandwiches, which is nice because I like them. They're delicious.
Yo, let's
Frank
be
likes
real.
bread, everyone.
Best bread ever made is that like 2 cent a slice Wonder Bread.
I'm not a fan
bite,
of
it gets
that.
caught up in your teeth. What are you nerds? Whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree.
I know.
there.
I'm sorry. I forgot.
Of course
the
you
Wonder.
would, Beardo.
As someone who
I
also
only
has
have-
a beard.
I only eat craft bread.
You don't even eat amidables.
That's correct.
Yeah. Fucking.
I do not eat amidables.
Yeah.
Does anyone?
I'll eat them in front of them.
That's fine.
Right in front of looking them in the eye when I eat them.
Do it.
So the heart rate sensor is as accurate as I have been able to test it. Both myself, Lisa, and the treadmill at my gym. I'll sit there walking on the treadmill, hold the grips on that, and it'll be exactly what my watch
You
says
sit
my
there
heart rate
walking?
is. Yes.
Okay. I think you're doing the gym wrong.
That's true. I probably am. But yeah, so it keeps track of that. And then because it's keeping track of your heart rate and you can set different workouts like what you're doing, I can tell it if I'm working out, if I'm on the treadmill, if I'm doing body weight exercises, if I'm doing weightlifting, I can tell it what I'm doing, and then it'll know how to adjust mostly for anaerobic versus aerobic exercise for the amount of calories that I'm burning while doing it.
That's where these fitness trackers always lost me, is when I would get into like tracking my exercise calories. I'd be like, I was wrestling for 50 minutes, and it's like, I don't know what to do with that. I was like, all right, well, here I am, fucking square one. Or like, I was lifting weights, and they're like, were you medium lifting? Like, I don't know. I was lifting a fucking shitload. 5x5. Give me a break. I don't know. Oh.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and it's not ideal yet for weightlifting. It is more definite. It's definitely more focused around cardio and whatnot. But the weightlifting functionality is at least there. The one thing that I really want them to add is a dedicated app for weightlifting to track your weights, exercise, and reps and number of sets that you do, so that I can like chart it over time. That would be great.
If they did that with an intuitive and smooth voice functionality, I'd be all about that. If I could be like, I got 3 reps at 315 or whatever, and it just put it in there instead of me having to go in and adjust everything. Because sometimes, I'll go like, sometimes I won't finish a 5th rep in my set. I'll do as many as I can to failure. So I got like 5, 5, 5, 12, and then it keeps track. It's always a pain in the ass.
So I think that's coming. Based on, they acquired some company that made some other fitness band like 2 years ago, maybe a little less, that was more focused on like weightlifting. I don't remember what it is. Things that I would like to see out of it would be that the expanded functionality for weightlifting, and also they call it Fitbit Coach. feature, which gives you exercise suggestions. Do
Try
that.
not being a fat fuck, you piece of shit.
Exactly.
Which is just Frank's natural voice.
Yeah.
Yep. I would like to see dedicate and this would take a lot, but I think if I'm going to spend $200 plus on a device, I should get something like this out of it. I'd like to see recommended exercise courses based on my current history and my either current progress or lack of progress, or like awesome progress. Like it'll track like, hey, now that we have the data about how you've been improving at these different exercises that you're doing, maybe you should try working in these into your workout and give me like, here are some workouts that you should try to keep your progress going.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. So you seem to be pretty happy with the purchase.
Yep. Nope. I'm pretty happy. It was definitely worth $150. Probably would be worth $200. Always glad to get it on sale. It does everything it says it did better than I thought it would, which is pretty outstanding for any product, I think. If you are interested in fitness and you're trying to keep track of all this shit, I highly recommend it. If you are looking for a smartwatch, I would recommend sucking it up and buying an Apple Watch or a Samsung Watch. They're more expensive in either case, because those are going to have all the features that you're looking for out of a true smartwatch, which is essentially a replacement phone that sits on your wrist.
Very cool.
Those always make me nervous because I do have, there's a few of my teammates that have smartwatches, and they'll like,
Your teammates on your roller derby.
yeah, and so we'll be all geared up, and it's just practice. It's not a game, but they'll still be like out there, and we'll be in the middle of drills or something, and they'll just start like looking at stuff on their phone or like, sorry, their watch, but it's like text messages and stuff. And it just makes me concerned. Like, I worry for them about it breaking because it's just exposed, and
Yeah,
it's a very contact heavy sport.
I guess this could divert into a totally different conversation that we won't go there. There's two things that I ask myself when I hear that. One, why do you constantly want to be available?
Right.
I really like it when I'm like
For the
being
next
left.
2 hours, you can't talk to me, or like,
Yeah,
I have my own world.
Last year when I went hunting, I tried to do some work remotely, and all of my teammates gave me a hard time until I logged off. They're like, you're supposed to be on vacation. I'm like, yeah, but I just want to help you. And they're like, no, get off on vacation. The other thing is, did they not grow up in their lives being like totally fucking doofy and clumsy? Because I have like, as soon as I get something expensive, I'm like, okay, how long until I break this?
Pretty much, yeah, that's me too.
I mean, now that I break fewer things now that I don't go out drinking, for sure. But there was a period of time before phones had really become.
That usually helps.
Yeah, there was a period of time before phones became really resilient, like the glass. They're pretty strong now. I went through like 5 of them because I would just constantly pull it out at like a party and drop it on a pillow and it would shatter.
On a hooker's forehead.
No. Mm-mm. So
That's Bill's fetish.
Throwing phones at hookers' foreheads.
He's like, I like a girl with a really strong forehead.
That sounds like that would be like a great game for us to develop.
It's like,
It'll be like a hooker's just like move side to side across the
Oh
street,
my
and
God,
you
you
just
have
throw
to hawk a phone
phones
at it.
across at it.
And your character gets really riled up as you do it.
yeah. You have to like maintain your composure while still achieving high scores.
We are on the cutting edge of comedy here, folks. We are the future.
There is a game like that though. I don't remember what it's called. I remember someone playing through it where like you have to drive a stick shift car, and like your character, I don't know if this is actually the described way it's written, but it like your character visually looks like they're getting turned on every time you go faster and shift gears. Like, it's bananas to watch, and then like you get pulled over at some point because you're going too fast, and then like you have to, I don't know what this game is. I need to research it, but I remember seeing it.
In the early days of Counter-Strike, when I was playing, there'd be different voice clips for like 3 kill streaks and stuff like that. So the default was like double kill, triple kill, monster kill. And it was
Halo. It did those.
Well, I think they stole it and they put it in Counter-Strike when I was on it.
Yeah.
Well, somebody modded it so that it was this really breathy, sexy lady. And like the more kills you got, you'd be like, monster kill. Wow.
What?
I don't know how to sound like a sexy lady, but you get what I'm trying to do.
That was like a horrified preteen. What is that?
Well, you're a woman, okay? I don't know what that's supposed to sound like. I'm not an authority on whatever.
On women?
Anyway, when I was like 13 or 15 or whatever, I really enjoyed that soundbite. But that's it. That's my memory.
Thanks.
You're welcome, buddy.
Thanks.
These kids today, they have it good, you know. That was exciting back in the olden days.
Hey, when I was a boy playing Counter-Strike on a cheat server,
You couldn't
we could walk on the ceiling,
just
quack like a duck.
Okay, Chris, you're gonna round out this first section.
Am I?
You got some tech shit. You got a curved screen for some reason and a computer.
Yeah.
Beep boop.
Beep boop. I joined the master race.
PC
Welcome,
Master
brother.
Race.
Yeah. I guess I'll start going through that, huh? So it was an HP Pavilion. I have a AMD Ryzen 7 1700 8-core processor.
Very nice, very nice.
With a Ryzen Radeon RX 550 graphics card on it. And it's wonderful. And it's 12 gigs 12 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive.
Yeah, I got your specs right here.
Oh, word.
Looking pretty good. 3 gigahertz Ryzen 1700 processor.
It's not quite the Starship Enterprise that Jake has, but it's
Correct.
like it's pretty good. Those are some solid specs.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. I'm very happy with it. It's very fast. Skyrim at 60 frames per second is pretty solid.
I feel like you're going to be able to run most games that are currently out at 60 frames in 4K.
Did you
Probably.
Did you go with a disk drive?
I think it is actually.
Yeah. It says 1,000
I do
gigabyte
plan on putting a
mechanical hard
solid
drive.
state in there just to dump the OS on.
You got to do that, dude. 100%. I was reading somebody's review on like PC or Build a PC subreddit, and they're like, "Why get a solid state?" The person's like, "Solid state hard drive is the biggest single piece of progress in the last 15 years for computers, like home computers. It is unbelievable." But dude, this thing's a monster. You got a terabyte hard drive in there, and you like it so far. What made you finally buckle down and get it?
Well, because I've been running on an old MacBook Air, and
Jesus.
yeah, and it was just time to upgrade, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I've always wanted to PC game, and I'm into the recording music thing, and I figure why not just get a boy that could do it all for me.
Yeah. So it's been. Does it work well for your music too?
I'm working on that part now. I got all the gaming stuff part of it set up, and then got to get all the music stuff in there.
That's cool, man. How long did you order it already put together, or did you parts it out?
It was already put together.
Okay.
Yeah. You mentioned the monitor. That's a fun little part of it.
Yeah, you got a curved
I
monitor?
got a curved monitor.
What?
Yeah, so it's a 27-inch Samsung curved monitor. And it's sharp as hell. And it's beautiful. And I love it.
What does the curved monitor give you?
So the curve is now...
Dick.
Yeah, curved. Yeah.
What?
Podcast.
Sorry, I had to clear my throat.
Enough!
Oh boy.
Stop it! You can't get mad at me for making Wookiee
Mr.
jokes.
Wookiee.
And you're up here talking about fucking jizz and ding dongs again. All right? Enough!
Here's how that could have played.
Far more serious than Wookiees.
Chris, your throat is filled with jizz. Says, I know, and then continues with what he's saying, and no one stops to acknowledge it. And then if someone finds it funny, they laugh. If someone doesn't, they burn our houses down. And then
Ours or theirs?
We don't have a fight on the mic. You laughed at your own joke for 45 minutes.
Hey!
Accurate.
So there.
All right.
I have the mute button.
Point made.
I was muted.
For
that entire diatribe.
Stop it.
So that's what I get.
Stop it.
Were you really?
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Excellent.
Chris, continue.
So, the curved monitor. Now, what's cool about it is the whole idea of it is that the curve of the monitor is supposed to be like the opposite of the curve of your eyeball. So what that does is that with the curve,
What if I beat my eyeball every day?
What the fuck are you talking about? What?
Why would you do that?
What does that mean?
Also, yes.
What
Just
does that mean?
Also just one eyeball?
It's like if you beat your dick every day, it'll curve.
But
you're
just
all
one.
chapped.
All right, Bill,
Dicks.
I'm sorry.
Apparently dicks.
I'm sorry, Bill.
Chapped
I too
dicks.
wish to die.
What the fuck are you talking about, Chris?
Dicks.
Gosh, dicks, apparently.
Oh my god, the
Curved ones.
Dicks
So the
and
the
semen.
screen turns around your eyeball for some
Right, so
reason.
the curve of it's supposed to be the opposite of the curve of the eyeball, and the idea behind that is that
Your penis finally looks normal.
exactly exactly that.
That is a sound analogy. I guess maybe, sort of, not really.
So you can use your peripheral vision.
It eliminates the distortion around the edges of the screen.
What distortion?
If you look directly at a flat panel screen, if you're looking at it direct, there's like some like distortion in the peripherals here. Like if you just even do it with your fingers, you'll see like distortion, how they're not like clear. With the curve of the monitor, it takes that out, and plus everything from the monitor with the curve is being thrown directly at you. Where a flat one, some of it bleeds to the side of you. Sorry.
Violent.
Violence.
Not
But the
so
curve
unlike
is
a
only
dick.
like a half an inch or something. It's not even.
It's but no, you can when you're looking directly at it, and I have a stand so that my monitor's actually like kind of facing at me downwards a little bit, so it's higher than my head, and you definitely notice it, and then eventually your eyes just get used to it, and it actually looks like it's flat, but it's actually curved.
All right. Maybe I'll have to try one of those monitors.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's a neat little feature. The big trade off on that, though, I will say, is glare. Glare is pretty terrible, but fortunately, where I have it in my room, it's a very, very minimal issue. But if
Because you just live in a closet
basically, a cardboard box.
with no windows.
Yeah,
He spent all his money on this monitor,
right.
which is just a dick.
Okay.
It's just a curved dick.
Mercifully, this section is over. We're going to take a break, come back. We're going to do a review of Gloomhaven. I'm going to talk a little bit about
Dicks.
Darkest Dungeon. I think Frank wanted to... No, he talked about his Fitbit. We'll see you there. Oh, my God. Catch you on the flip side. That's the line I always say. Welcome back, everybody. Before we get into...
Dicks.
God damn it!
Our
No,
favorite
we're talking
subject.
about the darkness outside. Anybody else? Does anybody else get... I don't want to sound dramatic, all right? I don't want to diagnose myself with seasonal affect disorder.
Seasonal
Sad.
Cox
Affleck?
disorder?
What?
Seasonal Cox disorder?
Correct. So, but
He can't get it up when
anybody
it's
else
cold
wake
outside.
up and then like it's like light
Sad.
out for like 2 hours and then it's dark and you feel like a big bag of shit?
all the time.
This is my life.
This is it's unbelievable, right? Like I'm sleeping late, but I've always slept late. And I wake up and then it gets dark and my body's like, "Oh, it's dark time. Let's get sleepy." And then I hate myself because I didn't do anything.
This is why bears hibernate.
Yeah, and I sit down, I'm
Thank
like,
you.
maybe I'll play some video games because it's sleep time, and I'd rather do anything else. Can't go outside in the dark. There's monsters and shit.
I am not a fan of driving home in the dark.
Nope.
It's weird.
From work.
I had a
Weird driving here, and it was already getting dark. Like usually, I'm used to it being daylight when we come over, and
some lady
Oh my
flipped
God.
us off on the way up. She was like, Genevieve was in the left lane, and Genevieve's going 5 over the speed limit, but there's somebody in front of her, so she can't accelerate to pass the person on the right. So we're kind of just stuck, and this lady is riding Genevieve's tail, and she ends up passing Genevieve on the right at a stoplight. So we're literally right next to each other, and she pulls up next to us and looks at me, and I kind of hold my palms up. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, Jennifer's got this little tiny Chevy Spark. She's in a fucking SUV. She looks at me, looks forward, and then holds up her middle finger next to her head, like as she's moving her car forward so we can't make eye contact. And I was like, what?
like she made eye contact, then purposely broke it.
She
To
looked
flip
when I opened
us
my hand.
off.
I was like, what are you
So
doing?
what did you do? You did you or did you not cut her off or prevent her from passing you, or you just
We didn't have any place to go, and she was tailgating Genevieve, so we couldn't get out of her way. But we got to the stoplight. She found space on the right because of the way the car's adjusted at the stoplight. And then she gave me a dirty look. I was like, what are you doing? And she flipped us off. We pulled just far enough ahead that we weren't next to each other. So we're fucking driving away, and we're like, what is that lady's problem? And then her license
Not
plate
enough
says,
dicks.
whatever.
Oh,
Yeah, like it was like WAAT hyphen, I'm thinking EVR. Like,
Delaware or PA plate?
oh, I can't.
PA.
It was PA. Yeah,
I was
'cause
really
it was a white
hoping you were just
background.
going to
I
say New
remember
Jersey.
You know what? When she looked at me, I was like, I don't want to be mean, but she was pretty homely. And I was like, maybe she's just mad because that's how she looks. Maybe that's why she drives like a jerk off and flips people off.
Mad at the world.
Yeah. I mean, there was a half a second where I was like, what a coward. Who like flips somebody off and backs down like that? And I was like, oh, I'm humongous. So like, she was like, this might not be a good call. Not that I was going to get out of the car and do anything with it.
Should've.
I don't think I should have. I think that is a good way for me to,
No.
get arrested for something or whatever, pay fines.
That's why you don't leave witnesses.
Wow, that would be a lot of fistfights in that traffic in the middle of 202. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Some people on the road,
People.
So this is why I suggested, how much trouble could you possibly get in if you just carried a carton of eggs in your car and when somebody pissed you off, you just hucked it at them? First off, they'd never be able to prove it. And second off, even if they did, what would be the crime? Vandalism?
Probably.
What, for throwing eggs at a car?
Yeah, like somebody does something, you
Oh.
just huck an egg at their car. And
It's
drive
actually
away.
really dangerous because
Yeah.
eggs don't clean easily off your windshield, so it could obstruct their vision and cause them to get into an accident real easy.
That's why you use pennies.
You don't throw it at their windshield, though. You hook it right at their driver's side.
Oh, that hits their blind spot, and then they got a yolk.
Well, they got to pull over.
It may have been the same woman who one day, coming home from work, coming south on 202, several points, the traffic backs up every day. It's rush hour. Duh. And she's tailgating my ass too. Okay. But we're in this is where 100 feeds onto 202 coming south.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
A mess.
it is always a mess all the time. And there is literally nowhere I could go. Like, it's just a wall of pickup trucks and other cars in the right lane, and I'm in the left, and I have to get over to the right lane later.
I know that merge. I do it every day.
And this woman, it was a red SUV. I didn't catch the license plate. Don't know if it was the
Okay.
same
It was a
person.
white
Maybe she
SUV.
wrecked it and then got a white one.
Oh,
instead,
maybe.
too.
Maybe.
Whatever.
She's just like doing these hand motions, like, get out of the way. Let's go. And you're like, yeah, blah, 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 just like endlessly. I'm looking in my rearview mirror. I'm watching her do this ballet for me with her hands and incredulous looks on her face. I'm like, lady, I would love to, but I would sooner drop a landmine so I blow your ass up. How's that? James Bond car. Beep. Fuck you, idiot. I can't move. Bye.
I don't understand. Where do people think you can go?
Yeah.
Can somebody stop one of these people and to ask them,
It's like the people who beep when they're in like a traffic jam. Like they're in the middle of a traffic jam that is multi-blocks long, like rush hour in NYC, like downtown NYC or something. I don't even know if, I assume it still backs up.
Traffic doesn't get that bad. And people take
Imagine
the subway.
the worst traffic jam.
LA.
Yes.
Just you're in the middle of it. And you decide it's going to speed things up if you honk your horn.
Is that real or is that just a movie caricature?
Have heard it on the highway.
Stop.
Yeah. Stopped dead on 202 South every fucking day and North 2 lately. Yeah. Not, it doesn't happen every day, but I've heard it. Like where everyone stopped for an extended period, like there's an accident and like a lane's closed. It's only a 2-lane road each direction. You know.
Wow.
Fuck off!
I remember, that reminds me of this one interaction I had. I was volunteering at like a kids soccer tournament as an official, and like there was some commotion on the field, and we had hired referees to take care of it, so it wasn't our business. We just hired the referees organization. They sent a referee, and there was like some pushing, and a penalty didn't get called, and these parents were freaking out. Like they were going to start a fight with the other parents. I had to stand between them so they could cool down.
Jeez.
Like 12-year-old, 11-year-old kids playing. And I was like, what are you people doing? I'm like, this is a children's tournament. You're acting ridiculously. Like, well, we're mad. I'm like, well, what do you want me to do about it? Like,
Rebel! Rebel!
well, they're like, I'm like, what? I'm not the referee. We don't have any power over the referee. She goes, well, you represent the tournament and we're upset, so you're going to hear about it. I'm like, what? Like, what do you want me to do? It was insane. I don't know. I looked in this lady's eyes and there was, it just seemed like there was nobody.
See, obviously, Bill, what you forgot is that their son or daughter is obviously going to the most talented athlete there. And if the game is not refereed right, then how will the scouts that are there for the Division I colleges for them to get into 6 years later going to know that their son or daughter is the one that they need to pick to go and get a free education? Because why would you ever save for your kid to go to college? They're clearly the best athlete around. They're going to get a scholarship.
Do people just not have flashes of consequences when they get that upset? Like,
Nope.
No.
I can't.
No, they don't.
Yeah. I will never understand it.
Like, it was like that. We were talking about. Somebody was telling me they got called into jury duty, and the case was a guy got into an argument with somebody else and shot him 6 times with a gun in the middle of like a populated neighborhood. Why? Where do you think that's gonna go? I don't.
Well, that's gonna go away forever.
Like,
Glad I
what
was
is
the
your
right
end
one.
game?
Jimmy, what did we tell you about shooting the people you disagree with?
Like, I don't.
Sorry.
All right.
Get
Okay.
out of here, you
Here we go. Anybody else have any games they want to talk about before I get into Gloomhaven? I do. All right, Jake, hit us.
I want to talk about Far Cry 4. Far Cry 4. Okay. I played a little bit of the very first Far Cry, different studio. They later went on to make Crysis. But 2 onward was whoever, I don't even know, Ubisoft, I guess, maybe, / sub-team. It's, I've talked about Just Cause before.
I conflate them in my mind all the time.
They're very similar in their premise. Far Cry is a further up the realistic scale than Just Cause, where, you know, physics just doesn't really matter all that much, and you have like a jetpack and machine gun going off next to your head and all that good shit, unlimited parachutes and grappling hooks and whatnot. Far Cry in general is a little more grounded. There's still a wingsuit, right? But there's lots of guns, whatever, lots of vehicles. It's all first person. But the key thing here is that it's a sandbox first person shooter in which you are set to depose an oppressive ruler, very Just Cause. In Far Cry 4's example, it is like a Southeast Asian Tibet / India / kind of sort of that kind of place. The culture is very rooted in there. There's lots of like Hindu architecture and like landmarks and stuff, but it's like a fictional nation. And you are the son of a former resistance leader against this dictator who comes back for some reason. your mom died and you come back because she wanted you to spread her ashes in like a really hard to get place. Low key trying to
Thanks,
get you
Mom.
involved in the rebellion to take up your father's mantle and steal them straight. Mild chosen one sort of plot. Some of the characters though, supporting characters, like the cutscenes when you're picking up missions or whatnot, are really, really, really well done, really well acted.
Huh.
Some of them are like a little too over the top and lose me, but there's I'm not fully through the game yet, but there's with the resistance called the Golden Path. There's 2 aspiring leaders of it who are calling the shots jointly. Who wind up having pretty fundamental disagreements on how they should proceed. And you then have to side with each one of them at different stages to do their version of a mission. The first example was like, okay, this camp is going to get attacked by like an overwhelming force, go there and help them. Or go retrieve the intel near that camp that the army is also coming for, and you should retrieve it, and then go try to save, whatever. And clearly you have to give up either letting these people die or getting this supposedly valuable intel. And I went for the intel on this playthrough, and all the other dudes died, and the dude who wanted me to save the people got in my face the next time I saw him, and was pissed. And it was just like really, really well done. He was like, we needed those soldiers more than we needed whatever that info was. Flip side of it, at the next stage, the one I just did today, I sided with this woman who. No, I sided against her, rather. I sided with him to burn down a poppy field. The contesting leader wanted to save it and keep those drugs monetized to fund the resistance. And I was like, I'll burn up some heroin, whatever. And then she got in my face about how I wanted to set up like a clinic there, and there was like medicine and other resources there too, not just the drugs. She was like super duper pissed. And those scenes were really cool. The combat's really fun. Being able to like just turn on auto drive on major stretches of road and then just pull a grenade launcher out and start shooting at cars and shit.
Auto drive?
Yeah.
What is this
auto
mechanic?
drive?
It's only on the Teslas.
it just keeps you like on the proceeding down a main stretch of road and like follows the turns and shit. I mean, you can still like hit people or hit other cars that are blocking your way. It's not super duper smart, but it's basically cruise control with steering. And that allows you to like John Wick gunfight other vehicles with whatever your sidearms are.
Amazing.
It's a lot of fun. There's also like a crafting mechanic. It's pretty low key. There's lots of different plants you can harvest, but they all boil down to just like a color leaf, like red leaf, green leaf, whatever. And there's 4 of them total. So it's pretty simple. They're used to craft like different like medicines and drugs you can inject to give you little temporary buffs or to heal. And then, there's throwing knives. There's a bow and arrow you can trick out because hunting's a part of it. If you kill an animal with either your bow or with melee weapons, you get more like resources from them because you didn't destroy it with bullets or explosives.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the wildlife, there are many predators and many
aliens, right?
No, and many animals that are not predators, but if you stick around too close, they'll charge you. Like rhinos and elephants and the like. There's honey badgers. They're a huge pain in the dick.
Oh my god.
Bengal tigers, leopards, wolves. Yeah, and they'll just go for it. They'll just swarm you. Fucking eagles will streak out of the stride and try to peck your fucking brains out.
Excellent.
And usually when it rains, it pours, and it rains often. Mm-hmm. So you'll be putting along, and then an army truck will come up with a dude in the machine gun. And then they'll turn to ram you to stop you from getting away, ram you off the fucking road. You happen to land next to a bunch of rhinos who were like, this asshole. Next thing you know, your car's flipping because they're just charging through. And then you get out and like you're dealing with them. You're probably going to die unless you know what you're doing. Kill all that shit. An eagle comes out of the fucking blue, and a pack of wild dogs tries to bite at your ankles, and you're just like, oh fuck! And you kill everything. And you wait, and you look around, and you harvest all their pelts, and you harvest all the weapons, and then you're like, what was I doing? That way. And you pick up and go
you
again.
didn't set the difficulty to Australia?
I'm playing on normal.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say a pack of wild ducks, and I got real excited.
No. That would be amazing.
Just fucking slapping you with their little feet. But like 100 of them, and it stings very badly. It's very disorienting.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Looks pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Well, I was watching you play.
Came out in 2014. I picked up Far Cry 4 with the season pass and Far Cry 5, which came out this year, I think back in May, with its season pass for a total of $60 on Steam's Black Friday sale.
Not bad.
Yeah, it could even still be that low. So I haven't played 5 yet. That one's set in Montana. Otherwise, a very similar feel. It's like a rural cult instead of a dictator. Frank, you played 4. What were your thoughts on it? I think our opinions might differ slightly.
Yeah, I didn't like 4 as much as I like 5. It's decent. I don't know.
Now go for him personally. Say something mean. That's how you
Come
win.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck
You
you,
want to win,
Jake.
don't
Jake,
you?
I think
Literal Nazi.
Yeah.
Fucking got him. You're welcome, Frank.
I was gonna say I think your beard is getting in the way of your, I don't know, taste.
Thinking.
Yeah,
Sometimes it does literally get in the way of my taste, yes.
yeah. I know. Even mine does, and mine's much smaller than yours. Get
Stop
stuck.
getting
What are we
along.
talking about now?
Anyhow, what you think of that one?
Yeah, I agree. So my limited experience with 4 is that it's a little too tight in terms of like density in the map, which
I think you mentioned to me when we were talking about this off mic that the map was too hard to get around.
yes,
I can see it. It's mountainous.
Yeah.
It's all mountainous terrain with some rivers cutting through it. There's very little in the way of plains. So it can be, but by planes I mean like surface of the ground, not like airplanes. There are no airplanes so far that I can fly at my point in the story.
there is a helicopter.
There's a shitty little like buzzer helicopter you can put around. It's handy for sure. Has a very low ceiling. So like if you go too high, you'll just stall out, fall straight to the ground.
All the way to the ground.
Yeah, and actually
Into the rhinos and then the wild pack of ducks.
Correct. That can and will happen.
100% of the time.
Not 100, like 80.
I want the ducks to fly up and slap you with their feet.
While they're
While you're in
flying
the
in the
air.
helicopter.
And that's kind of one of my big complaints about the game is like you can't.
Not
you
enough
are,
ducks.
You are constantly molested.
Whoa.
It's like being an altar boy in an 80s Catholic church. Like
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you are. I mean, it as far as the enemies are concerned, as opposed to the wildlife, I almost kind of like it.
yeah.
Because it's a civil war going on. It does kind of break the immersion when like deep in rebel controlled territory, because you like take outposts and like you capture settlements and you force the army back, both by progressing the story but also just by exploring and doing shit, just like Just Cause and other games. But they'll just be like a random fucking pickup truck with just like 3 army dudes in them, like deep in rebel territory. Just somehow got there, missed all the checkpoints that would have stopped them, which is good, and then it gives you stuff to do in those areas. But it's frequent enough that it's a little lore breaking.
All right. Hear me out.
Yeah,
They are partnering up with the ducks, and the ducks are flying them into rebel territory.
there are no ducks in the game. There are eagles. They're super annoying.
Maybe it's the eagles then.
Yeah,
Eagles.
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 So immersion breaking.
It's a somewhat immersion breaking. I mean, like if you're in your vehicle, whatever it might be, putting along the road to
Ducks.
get somewhere, because sometimes the best option really, like there's limited fast travel. You can fast travel to outposts that you've captured, but you cannot fast travel to like waypoints, and there are many waypoints that are often decently far enough away when you have to trek through, mountainous, difficult terrain. I mean, you have like a grappling hook, you have a wingsuit, you have some mobility. There's a perk you can unlock with unlimited sprint. You're just like, so you're moving faster. So that all that stuff helps. You can jack any vehicle, right? But I don't have a problem with it. It forces you to go through the world. Like if you want to clear the map of all the different collectibles, which I, being psycho, probably will, the best option is often just to hop in a car and fucking drive. And as long as it's a main stretch, you can use auto drive, and then you can like keep your foot down on the gas to go faster. So it just makes it a little easier on your hands, sitting at the keyboard all day, as I do. And once you unlock the grenade launcher, there's a truck coming. You just learn to keep an eye out for it, and you thunk, and you feel like a badass when they're flipping over your car and you just keep fucking driving.
Nice.
It's that there's lots of really cinematic fun moments you can just execute in the course of play. It's very fun. The physics is sometimes a little goofy, especially when you're killing eagles, because the body will fall limp and fall and then rocket across the ground and shoot off of like a mountainside and like do a bunch of flips and like land over here and like spaz out a little bit, and then it'll finally settle. Sometimes goofy shit happens, but
I'm pretty sure. So, for those people that understand physics, I don't think that there's like a I'm pretty sure that the momentum factor of it, like for the physics engine, like doesn't like continues to like it doesn't decrease when you're like when the eagle stops flying. You know, like it's got a set amount of momentum flying forward because it has wings and can propel itself. But when it stops being able to fly, I don't think the game engine can recognize that.
It like starts to fall, and the fall momentum continues after it hits the ground and stops.
Yeah.
And then, but the calculation is probably still running or something, and then needs a direction to go.
Yeah.
So it just goes everywhere.
And it can't go down anymore, so it goes. So there's a delay of it actually changing the speed, and then it all just kind of adds up, and it rockets off in a random direction. It's not super common,
Excellent.
but it is the highest recurring bug I've encountered.
Oh my god.
It's pretty funny.
I've seen it happen often enough that I specifically shoot at birds to try and make it happen.
Yeah.
I'm just like, all right.
So it's but I mean, it's never crashed. I'm running at 60 frames in 1K, 1080p, windowed mode, as I'm doing a bunch of other shit on all three monitors, and it's pretty stable. I haven't had a single issue other than that.
Do you get any of that sweet Red Dead Redemption error where like an animal will have a human skin?
No.
Ew, what?
None of that.
Have you guys had that in RDR2? Because it seems to persist.
I have not.
There's some pretty famous videos from Red Dead Redemption where like a mountain lion like exists and it's attacking the main character, but it's got like a human's body skin over it, so it just looks like a guy running on all fours, like
That is.
scratching your horse to
You'd be like, I
death.
didn't realize this was a zombie Mondu game.
Well, there is a zombie Red Dead Redemption, but that's beside the
It's
point.
very fun.
How's the gunplay? I was watching you play and it looked intense.
It's good. It's snappy first person shooter. You pull up your weapon wheel very simply, and you can it's just a weapon wheel, and then like drag your mouse in a certain direction. It's got 8-sided, and there's the main axes are weapons, and the diagonal axes are like support items, grenades, Molotovs, throwing knives, and bait. And bait, if you throw it somewhere, will attract a predator to fuck shit up. It's pretty fun. So it'd just be like, you'll be about to sneak into this base or something, and you can just throw some bait in there, and the lion attacks. or a
beautiful.
Or a honey badger, which will kill people.
Wow.
They don't give a fuck.
I wish they had gone the same direction as that game I reviewed before, Dino D-Day, where the Nazis not only use dinosaurs, but the dinosaurs buy into the Nazi ideology. So I wish these, like, whatever group you're fighting,
The true master race.
the animals were actually like, the two sides had actual animal companions that had learned the cause and decided to participate. And I really think that would add a...
But I don't know the level.
Pretty silly.
Yeah.
I haven't finished the game yet. It's very fun. The issue with the map being difficult to navigate isn't much of an issue. I think I'm a little spoiled with like the Bethesda games I've put so much time to, where it's just fast travel everywhere all the time. So it doesn't bug me too much. The world looks great. Everything renders pretty well. There are some draw distance issues, but it's a 4-year-old game at this point. So I'm not beating up on it too bad.
Any major shortfalls you noticed?
I really don't have any. I do tend to be very charitable.
Yeah.
I'm sure my opinion may there's room for my opinion to grow and alter as I progress, but so far I definitely recommend it. And considering I paid like maybe $14-15 for it and all the DLC, I could not recommend it enough if you like first-person shooters.
Awesome.
There is multiplayer too. I haven't even touched it.
I've never played the multiplayer. My general consensus. And Jake, you'll probably end up playing more of this game than I did. I think I probably played 10 to 12 hours of it.
That's not much.
Oh, there is campaign co-op also. I forgot to mention.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to try that. I was not impressed with the story. I thought it fell very flat and was kind of dumb, quite honestly. But the gameplay itself is solid. I mean, that's the other thing. The gameplay for Far Cry is very repetitive. If you like the mechanics of it, you're gonna have a good time. I don't remember which one I played before 4. It gets old after a while.
Yeah, I seem to recall that. I remember when Far Cry 4 came out, it was so hot on the tails of Far Cry 3, I was really surprised that they had another installment. And I don't think that it had been long enough that they really changed a lot of the mechanics, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but the reaction to Far Cry 3 was bananas. People were like, this game is fucking awesome.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I have it. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I see, because that was the first one, I think. I don't know. The guy had all the tattoos on his arms as you leveled up, and you and your friends got lost on this island, and you were trying to escape. And the gameplay was really, really intense. And then it just goes to 4, and they're like, "Oh, this is pretty much the same game, a little bit tuned up, and now it's in like fake India in the mountains or something." And I was surprised when it was coming out for full price. It was like a full price game, and it didn't seem all that different. So I was sort of was not shocked by your assertion, Frank, that it sort of was underwhelming.
Yeah. I liked 5 more. Ooh, essen Sie ein Stroopwafel, Herr Jakob?
Nazi.
I don't know what that is. A waffle cookie?
Yes.
Yes.
I nailed it.
Very Dutch.
It's a stroopwafel.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
They're good.
Fuck you.
That's right.
Fuck you. They're better from the Netherlands, of course. But.
So, yeah, it sounds to me. How much game time do you imagine you can get out of this title there, Jake?
Well,
If you had to guess, two mate.
Put into it. I put 46 hours into it,
Holy shit!
and I'm not even halfway through the story. There's still at least half of the map left uncovered that I cannot get to till I progress the story.
How the hell do you guys play the game so differently?
I didn't like it as much, so I just kind of gave up on it after a while.
Oh.
I feel like I don't know, like your comment on it being repetitive. I don't get that because the situations. I mean, yeah, you get ambushed a lot by multiple different predators, but it happens differently every time. While the terrain is pretty static in terms of its style, because it's mountainous, there's lots of diversity within it. I find anyway. If you're fighting up in the fucking Himalayas, it's not going to be the same feel as fighting in the river basin, cutting through the mountains, and everything in between the forests. But it is mostly, mountainous forests, so I could see that much. But as far as the gameplay, I mean, you have so many different tools to go with, right? So many different toys to play with: explosive arrows, fire arrows. Again, throwing knives, a suite of different firearms and explosives. Everything you could pretty much want. A very limited weapon mod system, very, very limited. About as limited as the crafting, right? Dumbing it down to 4 ingredients. But ultimately, that all kind of lets those elements be there. They never feel in the way. And I find it fun. I mean, if you're going to trudge through and clear the map, right? If you're going to 100% it, that could probably get annoying. But if you're just going to kind of march through the story and do some of the side stuff as well, it's a solid first-person shooter story. I mean, it's not. So far, the story is nothing great. It's better than Just Cause, which the story is almost there as a joke unto itself. It's so crazy. In my opinion, it doesn't take itself super seriously. If anything, I guess story-wise with Far Cry, I feel like it has a minor tone problem. But if it is a problem, it's again minor. It's everything is couched in the air of having to depose this dictator, is doing all this supposedly brutal shit, and you do get to see some of that. The opening cutscene, you meet the dictator, and he murders one of his own guys in front of you with a ballpoint pen. Because he fucked up somehow. So you have an idea of what you're dealing with early on. And when some of the sillier characters come around, there's a couple Americans who are like smoking opium constantly and like they're just stoner dude bros who also occasionally drug you and like abduct you to do shit, and somehow they talk you out of killing them every time. The cutscenes are pretty fun with those guys because like after the first time you meet him, they're chilling in your parents' house, right? Both your parents are now dead. You're coming back to check it out, and they've just like set up shop and have been there for who knows how long, just smoking and like chilling, right? Just crashing there. And the first time you meet them, they drug you. You get thrown into an arena where the people running it are also super duper oppressed, and they're like, "Just survive. We'll help you out how we can. Figure it out. You escape." And when you come back to confront those guys because they drugged you and abducted you, your character, and for all in first person view, just has a gun on them, like just flipping out at them, right? And like it's a character. It's not a role playing game where where it's a Marty stew where it's just a blank slate and you're supposed to impose yourself. No, like this dude has motivations. And while you do have some limited degree of choice, but it's also like a clearly defined character who's justifiably pissed, right? At certain things, or confused with some of the crazy people he meets in this place who are giving him missions. He's like, all right, this psycho, I guess I'll do what he says, whatever. And then you're just trying to sort this out. You grew up in America and you're in this foreign country that's blowing itself apart, and you just happen to also be the chosen one super soldier. It's fun. It's It's not a good story. It's fun.
Jake, can we get a year that game came out?
2014.
I think when I started playing it, it was purchased. So I did not purchase it. My Xbox is set up so that myself and another person can play each other's games. And when he purchased it, because he bought it, it was around the time, a little before Fallout 4 came out. Probably picked up on like the year anniversary sale or something like that, which would have been around like October 2015, which is right before when Fallout came out, Fallout 4. I probably played it until Fallout came out, and then I was like, all right, I'm done.
I thought, if I seem to remember your comments on it, was that it was like, take over this outpost. Okay, it happens. And then like right over the hill is some other thing.
Yeah.
Like that didn't react at all to you. Mm-hmm. And that you didn't like that feel.
Yeah, I did. And to be fair, Far Cry 5 suffers somewhat from a similar problem, but it's not as noticeable for whatever reason, which is strange because of the mountainous terrain that you experience in Far Cry 4, right? So you would expect that in the woods of Montana, which is where Far Cry 5 takes place, that it would seem much closer. But I don't know. I don't really get it. There was like one time on the starting area for Far Cry 5 where I was like, this is dumb. I just took over this little outpost place, and then I can see like the next place that I have to like go take over. But as soon as I got left the starting area, which was by design condensed to be small, I didn't run into that at all.
So
I recommend it.
Yeah,
it's cheap. It's good.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, if
it's
you're not
fun.
a fucking jerk off like some people.
Yeah.
It's fun, all right? If you're bored by the boring shit, you don't have to do the boring shit.
Who gets bored by boring shit?
I mean, plebs.
Yeah, precisely.
Well,
100%. Huh. All right. I'm going to share with you. Now, I'd planned on doing a review here of Darkest Dungeon. Little teaser for that game. I bought it for $7.50. I want you to guess how many hours I've put into it so far.
7.5.
So many more.
Many more. 65.
Ooh. Wow. I'm impressed.
Ooh.
So I don't know. I really want to go in depth and give a heavy review of this game because it's got a lot going on, and I'd like to beat it, but it's very hard. So we'll see. For now, I'm going to touch on a board game, which if our listeners are familiar with board games and like the ongoing board game community, which it surprised me because like comic books, I meant to mention this earlier when we were talking about Stan Lee, comic books are still getting made.
Yep.
People are still buying new issues. There's still storylines going on, and it kind of shocks me. Like I sort of thought that was a bygone era, but
I have a few friends who are doing that stuff.
I'm excited to see that it continues on, you know. Same thing with board games, and board games now are getting really, really impressive. This is one of those things that I will lament. Like, I don't think I'm a totally dumb guy. I think I can be creative, but it's tough for me to be creative outside of a defined box, right? So if you give me a set of parameters in there, I can do some interesting stuff. But the way I talked earlier about how people are now playing these deck building games where you start with like 10 cards in your hand, and each round you play your cards in a certain way to get more resources. You add it to your deck, you shuffle it, and then you draw more cards in the next hand, so you build a deck as you go on. That would not have occurred to me in 10 billion years. Thank God there's other people on the planet who aren't like me, because this shit is fucking cool. Well, here we are with the same sort of thing with Gloomhaven. And it's not... This is one of those examples. I don't think it's so creative that I wouldn't get it. It's just so perfectly balanced and executed. It is blowing me socks off. So
I think you're wearing some there.
My other socks. My
Cock
second
socks.
socks that I
Cock
wear.
socks. Yep.
All right. So Carl, friend of the podcast, being on an episode, invited me to come along and play. And I believe he told me it was the #1 game.
Is that his middle name?
Yeah.
Friend of the podcast?
Yep.
His parents kind of saw it coming.
I believe it was the #1
Friend of
board game. It was board game of the
my
year, either last year or this year. I can't remember. It's probably this year since it's December. Base game costs like $140, but it's worth
What?
it. Yeah,
No, it's not.
dude.
I'm looking at it now. Yeah,
So here, let me
it's extremely detailed.
let me explain this to you. They took everything. They basically
So
took your,
was Naughty Nurses 9, and I'm not paying $140 for that.
they took a D&D experience and an RPG experience. Like, they did similarly what RPG video games did to D&D, but did it to a board game. They took a lot of that stuff that you really, really liked, and they made it so you can play it on a table. Now, instead of fleshing out the story creatively like you do in Dungeons and Dragons, they have scenarios defined. Now, it's in a magical world in a medieval setting. It all sort of centers around this town of Gloomhaven. But the game is the other part of D&D that people love, and it's the dungeon crawling. That's what this game is. Dungeon crawling. Hour after hour after hour. So I show up, and I'm looking at this board, and it's huge. This box is enormous. It's like 2 foot by 2.5 foot by 2 foot. And I open it up, and there's just boxes and containers and labels and stickers. And my buddy goes, "Look at this fucking game."
All right, you got me now.
He got, he had to get 3 tackle boxes, like bait tackle for fishing. They recommend it. You get these 3 to put all the chits and tokens and labels and stands and shit in there. And then there's a printout that you put on the top of it so you can organize everything. There's, I think, like 25 different classes of characters, but you can only choose from about 5 when you first start playing the game because you haven't unlocked the other ones. This board game, has an unlocking system. Whoa. So the basic gameplay is you choose a character that's unlocked, and they give it to you in a little, I think, 4x4. It's not an envelope. It's a little thicker than an envelope. But you've got a character card in there with background information. You've got some like little tokens to keep track of what you do. And the basic way that these characters function is through cards. So my character, when I get started, I draw 2 like lifelong goals. And once you achieve the goal for your character, you get to pick one of the 2. You have to retire the character. Has to retire. But it unlocks another character for you to try. You can either do the new character or start a new one that was already unlocked. So I'm this spell weaver, which is, basically your mage. I can do some good damage from afar. I can heal people. I can summon some friendlies. And I chose to do 2 missions in this swamp and then 1 in a lighthouse, and then she'll retire. I think her max level's 9. I'm getting to level 3. I'll probably get it pretty high before I retire. Now, somebody else I play with, his character has to retire after 15 scenarios. He's played through 9. I mean, it's tough shit, right?
Wow,
but it's pretty darn cool. So the game sort of forces you to not get bogged down in any individual character. But I picked the story, and I get started. And every time you go into a scenario, you can do like a city, like a little city scenario and a road scenario. So the city scenario is like, you walk into a bar, somebody spills their drink. You see an Inox start a fist fight with whoever. Do you get into the fist fight, or do you stand back and calm everything down? And so you pick, it's on a card, and as a group, you pick what you do, you flip it over, option A or option B, and then it tells you what happened. You know, so sometimes if you get into a fight, you get beat up and you start your scenario with damage already. If you stop the fight, the bartender thanks you and, gives you some money. Or if you got into the fight, you get 10 experience. If you don't, you get nothing. Things like that. Pretty neat. And there's one on the road. Some birds fly over. Do you shoot them? One time, we shot at these birds and they spit acid at us. They were red birds. Then some white birds flew over another time. We shot them and we gained bless. Whatever. So it's pretty neat. It's pretty different. But these cards, interestingly, some of them, when you're done with them, you literally rip them in half. They're gone forever. I was like, my buddy's like, yo, rip that card. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not ripping a card in a board game. I'm not ready for this change. So we go through these two scenarios, and you get into the dungeon. This is the meat of the game. I love it. This is the part that makes me go fucking bananas. There's a big book with like 95, 100 scenarios, and in it, it has pictures of the layout of the dungeon. In the game board, there are cardboard shapes for these dungeons. It shows you a picture of how to lay them out. And then on each section, it shows you where to put your enemies. Your enemies are cardboard cutouts with little colored stands. White stands are your basic level of that enemy. Yellow are the elite versions of that enemy. They have different powers. They have different health. They have different movement. So you set them all up, and you can't see the next room until somebody goes into the door. But as soon as you open the door, the enemies are ready to attack. So you got to be ready. So going into the scenario, your character can carry a certain number of cards with them, and that's all you get. When you run out of cards, your character is exhausted. Now, the Spellweaver can only carry 8 cards into any scenario. You pick 2 cards each turn of yours, and you play the top of one card and the bottom of the other. So the top of one card might be, attack from 3 spaces away. The bottom of the card, move 4. Top of one card might be heal your friend. The other one, summon an ally. So each card in the middle has an initiative number. So if you pick cards with high initiative, you go last. If you have one that goes early, you can choose to go really early, but that has consequences too. So each time you play through a hand, you either put it in the discard pile after it's played, the 2 cards are played, or if you do some action, sometimes you have to put them in your lost deck. Your lost pile doesn't come back unless you have a special ability, which is what the Spellweaver does. So I have a card that can bring back all my lost cards and get ready to go. What happens is, when all your cards are out of your hand, you can either do a short rest, which means you shuffle the cards in your discard, and you randomly draw one out, and you have to put that in your lost pile. But you get to play in normal order. If you do a long rest, you miss your turn, but you get to include the cards from your hand and choose which one goes in your lost pile. Tactical stuff. These monsters behave like NPCs, and you have to talk about it as a group. The monsters will advance to get themselves in the most advantageous attack position, but if they're in an advantageous attack position, won't necessarily move out of it, right? A little technical hiccup there, guys. No big deal. Basically, the game is NPC moves into an advantageous attack position. If it's not advantageous, the character won't do it. If they're already in it, they won't move. Yeah, they won't move out of it, right? And the way to settle a dispute is a consensus of the players. The book doesn't have these hard and fast rules. It has rules, but they say specifically in it, if it comes down to a judgment call, you guys have to agree on it. I think we lost about 20 minutes, so I might touch on this later after I get the game myself and play a little bit more. But it definitely is an incredible game. Character leveling, you can level up the city of Gloomhaven. The dungeon crawling itself is, we even have big discussions about who's going to open the door so that we can finally see the enemies in the other room. Because once you open the door, they come look and they're going to attack you if they can, right? So the battle, I don't know, I'm not sure if we caught this part. Battling is done with the cards that you select, top of one card, bottom of the other. Yep. You flip over a modifier card. It can either subtract damage, add damage, do nothing, or cause you to miss totally, double damage, things like that. I highly, highly recommend it. And it's interesting to see there's a whole world of active board games out there that are tremendous, absolutely tremendous.
It's intriguing. When you first described it, I was like, yeah, right. But I've definitely spent over $140 on Dungeons and Dragons, and this looks like it has. Yeah, those books are expensive.
I guess I've never considered it, but
each of the books is like $50.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So, when I think of that, you get an entire thing condensed down into one package, and it works well. That's interesting.
If you were looking for something that was heavily on the dungeon crawling and the tactics of it, with like a top-down, tile-based tactical scenario, this is incredible. I don't know if it's for everybody, but I like the story-heavy stuff. I like RPGs online. I like all of it, and this has been great, great fun. And everything is supremely well-balanced and thought out, and nothing seems any bullshit. You know what I mean? There are some moments where you can be a major hero with a really great play, which is a signature of Dungeons and Dragons, and there are other moments where you fucking blow it because it blows up in your face, and it keeps everything really exciting.
I've been on both sides.
So,
I did have a question.
Yeah,
Might have missed it earlier, but does it come with only one version of the story? Because I know we were talking about like D&D, you can do almost anything in the world, but are you only set to do like one major plot like in Skyrim, or is it?
I think the plots are like a number of different story flows based on the scenarios that you unlock and sort of the paths that you choose, right?
Okay.
So it's not, I don't know if there's one big main overarching thing. I think it is very character dependent and result dependent. So I know right now we're messing around with some demon, right? And we transported to another dimension, and he's like, you can either help me get this thing or I'm going to kill you right here. So it's not really a choice. It's not like you're not going to help him.
Back to main menu.
Okay, you go to this dungeon next. You know what I mean? But once we get out of there, we get back to the city, we buy our items, and we decide where we want to go next. Okay.
So as far as no like real end point. It's kind of just like.
I think there's a point at which the city's like fully leveled up and you've played through all the characters and they retire and that's that. Like it's just the city, you just go as far as you can, right? You do everything that you can do and that's it. Now each character have like a piece of paper to keep track of it. So like if I finish a character and retire, you could play the same character. Ostensibly, I suppose I could too. It's not like the same character type, not the same character.
Oh, okay.
Like you just.
What's your favorite character type so far?
I really have enjoyed my Spellweaver, and it's probably good because of my style of play. Like I'm familiar enough with the needs of healing and also attack. I don't know. It's like your Mario from Smash Bros. All around decent. Probably the most impressive so far has been the Tinkerer. I think like your dwarven kind of guy makes all sorts of cool devices,
like an inventor kind of.
Yeah, but you're not setting up turrets like in Overwatch, but certain effects, like his character was able to pull one of my cards out of my lost pile for me. So you know how I said I had a card that pulls all my lost cards out of my lost pile when I run out? Well, I then had to discard that card, and then I was about to run out all my cards the second time. He used his power to have me pull out my card to pull all my other cards out. So it was like a huge save. The brute is awesome. Just enough health that you can stay alive for most things if you're smart. The one character that I was most interested in that nobody's played yet, one of the other guys played, but I haven't played with him, is this, it's like a mind something. I don't know. I mean,
Scion type thing.
Borg.
I think it's supposed to be like a play off of like the Mind Flayer. Like basically what you can do with your cards
Like a
is
solar flare?
control, like Flayer, Flayer, I believe. And you can control both your allies to move and enemies to move. So if your ally needs to get across the room and they play a card and they can only move 4 spaces, you can play a card, control their mind, and have them move 3 more.
This is the Mind Flayer, Genevieve.
That's what?
Yeah.
It's like Cthulhu looking.
And then, of course, you can do, you can cast something similar on an enemy and have them walk into a trap or whatever. But there's an assassin character. There's an assassin character that I wasn't really interested in. I don't like sneaking up and stabbing people. I like either smash in your face or casting spells from far away and let my familiars do it. My plan is to buy a skeleton that I can summon, so I get 2 summons that just march around and
I am
do my job.
Always a fan of the summoning classes because I am supremely lazy, and the idea of summoning things to then go do the hard stuff for me is so appealing.
Yeah. It's really great. I can't believe that. I just am shocked that there's this amount of money in the game board industry that they have the resources to get people to make this game this good.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it, but I just want to clarify. You can't have more than one character type in a party at a time.
Correct. That's my understanding.
Damn it, because that would be.
You mean like the same type?
Yeah.
You
wouldn't have like 2 brutes and 2 tinkerers or whatever.
I keep giggling thinking about like 4 brutes just crushing a dungeon, like meatheads just.
Yeah. Well, they all have their own little miniatures too that you could paint, and they're really neatly stylized.
Here's
all right.
Thimble. So I am not a very artistic person.
Right.
Bill, I don't think you are either.
No.
Yeah. I love the idea of having like the whole collectible stuff for like tabletop games, but I know if I bought like the miniatures or anything like that, like they all come so the way they come is so boring, and you're supposed to like paint them, and it's just like I would make them so terrible. That's like I'm never even gonna consider it an option.
I used to build models, like plastic model cars and shit with my dad, and we tried painting a couple of them, and I just did such a terrible job. We fucking stopped.
Yeah.
And I think you and I might have that similar personality trait where, like, if you make something and you know you fucked up somewhere, that is all you will notice every time you look at it. Like, I can't keep something I like creatively make in front of me. I have to give it away. Like, get this out of my goddamn face, because I know I double dipped my paint there and it's smudged on the backside. Fuck off. Miniatures would be cool, but you know what? It's sort of a superpower because you and I cannot get sucked into Warhammer 40K, which
Not
is
a chance.
Incredibly expensive. But anybody else have any questions on this sweet ass game? All right, man. I really recommend it, and this is going to prompt me to read more into other good board games to play. Even one, it was like a 1v1 Star Wars miniature tabletop space dogfight battle game.
You lost me on that one there.
And I was like, oh, maybe G and I can do that, play together and fight each other. There's some pretty good stuff out there that's not $140. So yeah, fist fight like that, Frank.
It's just a fist fight.
All right, everybody. So
there's no actual board.
This might be a little bit of a shorter
fight.
episode, but know in your heart, I gave you 25 additional minutes of content. It just
We've been recording for 15 hours straight. And,
yeah, so.
I just gaffed and wasn't hitting record, and but just treat it as if you did get all that content.
And you really liked it, and you want to send us money.
Yep.
All right, guys, we're gonna take another quick break, and we'll flip on over to our Steam review, and then that'll be a wrap. Catch you on the flip side. Welcome back to our weekly section.
Penis.
Jocks.
Penis.
Why is
Cack.
It's coming in with the trumpets, man.
Oh,
Sticks.
Sticks.
We really like those dicks.
you edit it out, Jake.
No,
Can we have some sound?
I don't know how to edit it.
All right, we're on our Steam sale.
Apparently, I don't know how to record, so.
He just hits publish
Our
and it
Steam
goes
sale
somewhere.
weekend. Let's see what we got here. Ancestors Legacy. I don't know anything about this. Play for free, 50% off.
I couldn't even read that.
$17.49.
That font is very distracting. Ancestors? What?
I was still talking.
Why are you looking? Okay, fine. I waited until you were done, but
No, you
sure.
didn't. No, you didn't.
So, squad-based real-time strategy with strong focus on tactics inspired by medieval European history.
What?
Oh, it looks
different-
like
Oh my
nice.
God! Look at this fucking game.
This is
This
great.
looks ridiculous.
Oh my God, they're running
Oh.
like assholes.
A bunch of assholes up in here.
Like just these
Oh,
jabronis.
Oh, don't have money for an animated cutscene, so let's just do moving clip art.
Okay, this does not
Oh.
look terrible.
No,
How much is it? Where is it? Wait.
$17.50. Play for free ends in 16 hours. We could get some game time on this. Oh, sexy lady by a burning house. I'm in.
No, I'm not.
I
Do you
think
get to
Although
have
it
sex
does
with
have
her?
good reviews.
Oh,
you're
brutally
chopping a-
murdered.
chopping
It
a
really
peasant to
does
the
just
ground.
look like
Nobody kills someone with a sword like an axe.
Well, you say that till
until
happens.
I mean, what did you just see, Frank? Come on,
This is very historical, Frank.
it's historically accurate.
This looks like it could be fun.
Oh yeah, look, it's like a little top-down tactics manager. Age of Empires. Welcome to the.
so it's
Thunderdome.
more of more. Okay,
Oh my God.
the clips that they show are, I guess they're.
It's not
accurate.
quite like real-time strategy, but it's a little too
Yeah.
big for squad-based, I think.
This
I
looks
don't know.
kind of like it might be a mess for.
Or it could be really fun. I don't know. Let's punch out of here. Let's get the hell out. Enough of that.
Abort! Get the coat hanger.
Publisher
Oh
weekend.
boy.
Get hype, Bill.
Trucks. Trucks. Publisher weekend.
Yo, check out that
American
Baltic
Truck
bundle,
Simulator.
boy.
American Truck Simulator.
Baltic bundle.
Oh
man.
my
Euro Truck
word.
Simulator 2 from 2012, American Truck Simulator from 2016, both $5.
Oregon in style.
Oh man.
God, my penis
What
can
does
only
that
get so
even
erect.
mean?
Map
Scandinavia. Viva la France.
Dude, I don't know. Really, one of these days I got to
Going east.
put my
Euro
money where my
Truck
mouth
Simulator.
is and just buy one of these simulators and see what all the fuss is about.
I mean, you did that dog shit Railway Empire already, right?
Stop it.
What's the worst that could happen?
Stop it.
Don't bring back the memories.
What's the worst that could happen? Buying more trucks? Everyone wants trucks, Bill.
Dude, I thought I put that away.
Like,
More
the real
trucks,
solution
Bill.
I
is
never
more
thought I'd have to
trucks.
live that again. All right, what's this
200
for the
trucks,
kid?
right?
Bill, I
this
think
for
we
the
should buy more trains.
Stop it.
Train, you should get on the train.
And then just destroy them once they get to their destination and make more trains.
Name it Patrick Swayze.
$10.
For the king, into the deep.
For the King is a strategic RPG that blends tabletop and
It's a
roguelike
porn.
elements in a challenging adventure that spans the realms. Set off on a single player experience or play cooperative both online and locally. Into the Deep adventure now available for free.
Oh, there's a giant crab thing. It
Oh,
looks
so this looks like a tile-based turn-based combat with
like cell
pretty
shading.
cartoony art style. Very positive feedback. I think I'd have to, if I looked it up and it said it was going to give me about 10 hours of gameplay for the $10. This might be a strong contender for something I try. I'm really liking this hex-based, turn-based battle tactics stuff. Anybody else got thoughts on this one?
Looks fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have $10 for it right now, but it does look
Right.
fun.
Like, gotta see what else is going on, but decent.
Angels of Death.
Day's deal.
Wow.
Please kill me. That's all I needed to see.
Yep.
Yeah,
That
Gotta
is the
get it.
first line.
No,
How
no, no,
much-
no. That is not the first line. It is please
It's $5. Please kill me.
kill me.
The
Help me
lost
get
girl
out
just
of
wanted
here.
to
Lost
die.
girl
I'll
just
kill
wanted
you.
to die, guys.
Can't have 4 people talking at once, guys.
Oh my god.
We can have 5 though.
We can. We shouldn't. Though.
Why would I want my life simulator?
Genevieve,
okay.
why don't you read it?
just wanted to get out alive. But wait, didn't she want to die?
Well, it's a different.
Please kill me.
No, I meant the review on the right.
By
Angels of
your
Death
hand.
is a psychological horror adventure game consisting of
oh my
4
gosh.
episodes.
Just so everyone knows, the font that I'm trying to read is very confusing. It's like half caps, half not. Typical of a
They halfway
cringy-
went for making a note out of magazine clippings.
Yeah.
But that didn't actually follow through
But
with
then they
different
were like-
font styles.
Yeah,
They
they're
just
like,
changed the size of the font.
I
Maybe better.
just need to know if this is going to be as much of a roller coaster as her lie I tried to believe.
I bet it is.
In which case
also,
I'll
it's
buy
only
it.
$5. Like,
There appears to be more happening than clicking and reading. So
oh man.
A girl, a killer. They had a strange promise. Quotation marks.
Yeah,
One
what
of the most popular indie games in Japan is now on Steam. This sounds amazing.
I'm
I'll-
getting this. I don't care what. Yes,
All right. Okay.
I want this.
Sounds good. All right, let's get out of here.
I will get this and review it.
Old Man's Journey. Old man, look at
$2.
my life. $2. Old Man's Journey is a soul-searching puzzle adventure. Tells a story of life, loss, and hope.
Oh,
Interacting in the world around you, you'll shape the landscape. Old man's path forward. This seems like a version of Up that you can play through. I think you and Lisa would probably go for this game.
yeah.
$2. All very positive feedback. Right art style. Neat. It's like
looks like a storybook.
Yeah.
yeah. It looks really cool.
I'm probably gonna get this too.
2D landscapes and a 3D sort of alignment.
It's only $2.
Yeah.
It looks like there's some level of puzzle-ish stuff going and navigation.
I like puzzles.
Not I'm getting a very. This is a interactive story sort of
Mm-hmm.
vibe. Not a bad thing.
I don't think we need to click on
There's lots
Day
of,
of
like-
Infamy. Has anybody played that game?
No.
No.
70% off. I don't know if you can go wrong with
What
it.
is JJ Boom?
Yeah, what's JJ Boom for 90% off?
For $1.
A party game that makes you laugh out loud. Already losing me. In the local or online games, throw them out. No, raise everything up, throw them out. Use your wisdom to blow your enemies up.
What? So there was like a hot potato game. And
Well, I don't ever go to parties anymore, so this is't for me.
This is
also, you don't play party
Very
games on
low
your
res.
PC, so why?
and it's fine. It's $1. Not $1 I'm gonna spend though.
Yeah, it's also just space on your computer. Like,
If we were drunk right now and looking for something to do, I'd pick it up.
yeah, maybe.
Nah.
But even then, it would be like
I would pick it up, not you nerds. You guys don't do it.
Yeah, but I don't even want to play it. Like,
Elder Scrolls Online, 50% off at $9.99.
It's always 50% off at $9.99, and we
Right.
never get it.
Right?
It's free on the Xbox Game Pass.
Mhm.
Indeed.
shut up, Frank.
It's actually a pretty good game now. It's not incredible by any stretch of the means, but I mean, like, it's good. I think anybody who enjoys RPGs, at least anybody who enjoys MMOs, will definitely enjoy it. If you enjoy the Elder Scrolls world, you will probably enjoy it.
Mm.
If you enjoy both, you'll probably love it.
It's a
Until
very
you
good assessment.
until you examine the lore closely and realize that the entire premise of how the alliances are set up doesn't make sense, but it's fine. It's fine.
It's whatever. Is that it?
All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of like other
What is
games.
this Rise to Ruins?
All right, well,
50% off. Challenging godlike village simulator designed to bridge the gap between complexities of village simulation with the simplicity of classic 90s real-time strategy.
Huh.
Inspired by games like Towns, Gonorrhea, Banished, and Dwarf
Yep.
Fortress. You know, I was just playing Banished the other day.
Memoria.
That game is hard as shit to not be trash at for me. You know, for $5, this looks pretty cool. I guess it's like probably resource survival management mixed with tower defense.
it's almost like SimCity mixed with tower defense.
What's the
Yeah.
price there?
But like, it
$5.
looks like a Game Boy
Mm.
version of Zelda. That's what I'm getting from it.
5. It actually looks pretty fun, but I don't know if it's worth 5 to me. This might be a game where I play once for like 2 or 3 hours and then just kind of forget that I ever bought it in the first
Yeah.
place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm getting that vibe.
just about does it. There is a developer sale, a publisher sale for all these different Truck Simulator stuff. So I think that's all that was on there, and all these other cheap things. I say we cast our votes.
I already cast mine, but I'll say it again. The Angel, is it Angel of Death or
Yeah.
Angels?
Angel of Death.
Angel of Death. And
Angels. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's plural. Angels of Death.
I say,
for $4.99.
and then the what was it, Old Man's Journey for $2.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going with.
I would like to get this Ancestors Legacy, but not for $17.50. I'm sure I have enough games to play to wait it out till it's cheaper. This For the King for $10 looks pretty cool. Like I said, if I do some gentle reading and I get relatively good feedback, I'll go with it. What else? I'm sorry, can you click to the next page? Okay. And then I'm sort of interested in this Rise to Ruins. I can't decide if I like tower defense games or not. I think I might hate them, but I think I might also like them. So I'm going to skip it. Fuck it. I'm getting an American Truck Simulator.
Attaboy.
I would probably go for Elder Scrolls Online.
Seconded. Give it a try if you like Elder Scrolls series.
I would third it. I'm probably not actually going to buy it though, because I do love Elder Scrolls, but I do hate MMOs. That's just me though. Although we were talking about possibly doing some Lord of the Rings online at some point.
If we wanted to do Lotro, because I've played Lotro in the past, or ESO, I'm down, because if you have Game Pass, we can play on Xbox for free. So then that requires but Lotro is also free to play. But there's some...
Those microtransactions.
Well, not only microtransactions, but I'm pretty sure there is some content that is behind paywalls.
You have to buy... I think you have to buy a horse, which I did, which was like $20 at the time.
But you can't... There's no crossplay, right?
I don't think so.
Like, my PC can play Lotro.
I think now also too you have to pay to get into like VIP like servers too, but there's also free ones that were just fine.
I need to buy a new graphics card for my
Stay
computer.
tuned as we hem and haw and figure out if we're going to play Lotro or not.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but hey,
Shit happens.
shit happens and we're a bunch of amateurs. You know how it is.
Bunch of fucking amateurs.
Thanks for sticking with us. Glad to be back. Hope to catch you next week. And as always, don't forget to never not, but always what, huh? Cock 'em, lock 'em, and rock 'em, baby.
But mostly cock.
Now throw dick.